So I wrote a book called The Moral Gap, and it's about this, this gap between what morality demands of us, which I think is very, very high, a very high demand, and our natural capacities, what we're born with. I think the moral demand is that we care about all of the people affected by what we do. And we have to make their purposes our purposes as far as we can, and not give our own preferences more weight just because it's us. And that is actually extremely difficult to do. And that's the moral demand. And I think we're born with a preference for ourselves. That's not the only thing we're born with. We also have, I think, a sense of right and wrong. And we have, from our animal ancestry, care for our children and for the other members of our group and so on. So it's a mixture. But I think we do have this preference for ourselves, and we can't be morally good unless we find some way to discipline that or control it. So I have been parts of many groups. I worked on the staff of the House Foreign Affairs Committee in Washington. And there is a tendency for groups to move towards the lowest common denominator unless there is articulate policy to the contrary. So I think one has to work against this tendency for self-preference. And that does require leadership in the case of the committee, from the chair of the committee. And the staff will take their character from that. It's not exactly that they're looking past themselves. It's that they're seeing that the greater good has to come through them. And they are the vessels for that. And the way that they lead their lives and deal with their staff will in fact affect the character of the whole institution.